What's going on, my Jack brother? Coach Scott here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Tongkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis, two natural herbal supplements that have become insanely popular this past year ever since Andrew Huberman was on the Joe Rogan podcast mentioning that these are the two best supplements to naturally boost testosterone. I believe he said Tongkat Ali on its own can increase your testosterone by 100 to 200 points, and the combination of the two can increase your testosterone by 300 to 400 points. Ever since that podcast aired, there have been many YouTubers have come out, done their own personal reviews, shared their own anecdotal evidence, some sharing their blood work and positive experiences with this combination. There's also been some concerns and criticisms from other YouTubers who are well researched when it comes to natural supplements. So we're going to cover that in today's video, and I'm going to be sharing my own personal experiences during the past 2 months and any results that I may have experienced myself. Now, medical disclaimer, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice in any way, shape, or form. Before taking any kind of dietary supplement, I highly recommend you consult with your physician, get some blood work done, and especially if you are taking any kind of medications, you want to make sure that these supplements aren't going to interfere with those medications. Also, before you take any kind of testosterone boosting supplement, make sure you get your lifestyle in check first. If you are not getting an adequate amount of sleep consistently, day in and day out, if you're not managing your stress, and if your diet is not in order, you're not focused on consuming mostly whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods, these supplements are going to have very little impact on you. Those are the things that are going to have a much greater, they're going to have more potent effect on your testosterone than these testosterone boosting supplements. So I highly recommend you get your lifestyle in check first before experimenting with any testosterone boosting supplements. Now, first off, I think it's important to share why I did this little 2-month experiment with Tongkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis. It's the same reason why I have experimented with a few different testosterone boosting supplements during the past 2 years. I mean, prior to this past 2 years, I never took a single testosterone boosting supplement. I just didn't believe they had any kind of impact on gaining muscle. I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of guys do take testosterone boosting supplements. They expect it to pack on tons of muscle, and I have no expectation for testosterone boosting supplements to pack on muscle. First of all, I'm damn near my genetic muscular potential. Do I want to gain more muscle? Yeah, I'm trying to achieve my genetic muscular potential with slow and steady gains year after year. Definitely a slow and steady process at this point. But the biggest reason why I have experimented with testosterone boosting supplements and why I am taking these two supplements for the past 2 months is for libido and overall health. I mean, as a guy in his 40s, a single bro in his 40s, libido is definitely important to me, and I want to make sure it is at its peak levels all the freaking time. And these two supplements are aphrodisiacs. So I find that a lot of testosterone boosting supplements have ingredients in there that are aphrodisiacs, such as like fenugreek, horny goat weed, oyster extract. There's a variety of them that are out there. So when someone's taking a testosterone boosting supplement and they experience an increase in libido, I think they automatically assume that their testosterone levels have increased. But just because your libido has increased doesn't mean that your testosterone levels have increased. But if, like for myself personally, I don't care if the testosterone levels have increased. If I'm experiencing a boost in libido, that's a great thing. If I'm feeling great, if I'm feeling energetic, if I got mental clarity and focus and I'm performing my best throughout the day, being able to give the best of myself to all that I'm doing, that's the benefit I'm looking for. So whether my testosterone levels have increased or not, if I'm experiencing the benefits in that regards, game on. Now, as I mentioned, there's been a lot of positive feedback from others who have run their own personal experiments combining Tongkat Ali and Fedosia agrestis, including members of the Jack at the 40 Club who have shared their experiences in our private closed group community. But I find it really fascinating to see some of the other YouTubers who have done their blood work at the beginning and the end of their own personal experiments, and their results in increasing testosterone were in alignment to what Andrew Huberman shared on the Joe Rogan podcast. So I find that pretty intriguing, but also just as intriguing is the concerns and criticisms from others, mainly because these two supplements, there's not a lot of research to back them up, and they're mainly just rodent research. With Fedosia agrestis, I think there's 2 rodent studies. One of them showed concerns with kidney function, and the other one showed concerns with testicular toxicity. So it's really tough to draw comparisons between rodent studies, the doses that they used, and what the human dose would be. So whenever you are taking some sort of unproven herbal supplement, you do need to exercise some caution and really weigh the pros and cons, the risks and rewards. Is it worth any potential benefit with the increase in libido that you may experience if there is a potential risk for testicular toxicity? And I think the key here is to make sure that you're starting with the minimal dose possible with either of these supplements to see if you get a positive experience from that lower dose and just stay at that low dose. And the other thing is to cycle on and off. We're going to get to that in a moment. Now, I did take Tongkat Ali for the first time about a year ago for just 1 month. And I mentioned to my naturopath at the time, I go to her to optimize my hormone health. She does some Chinese acupuncture on me. And she sees that my blood work always comes back in the normal range, but she likes to see some of my blood work like optimal, like the B12 levels she bumped up to get me in the optimal range, my vitamin D levels up to the optimal range. She makes sure my thyroid function is optimal. So just doing little things to keep me in check there. And I mentioned that like when I was taking Tongkat Ali, I'm like, you know, this is the first time like I really feel a difference. There's something to this. But then I stopped taking it because I started experimenting with some other testosterone boosters as well to see how those would have an impact on my body. So I was really excited to see how Tongkat Ali would work this time around. And in hindsight, I really should have just started like this first month on just Tongkat Ali to see again if that is the key factor here, if this is the differentiator, if I don't even need Fedosia agrestis, if it's just Tongkat Ali that I'm experiencing the benefits from. So in hindsight, I should have did it for a month and then introduced Fedosia agrestis to see if there was an added benefit to the combination of the two. So for the past 2 months, I've been going with the dose that Andrew Huberman recommended on the podcast, which is 400 milligrams of Tongkat Ali and 600 milligrams of Fedosia agrestis per day. Now that is half the amount that is recommended on these bottles. They recommend 400 milligrams twice a day of Tongkat Ali, 600 milligrams of Fedosia agrestis twice a day as well. So I'm not doing that. I'm going with the once a day serving there. Now, last year I took, and this is in capsule form, last year I used Tongkat Ali in powder format, and this was 1,000 milligrams per serving. And on here they recommended doing 5 days on and 1 day off. So this is the interesting thing, like from any of the concerns that I've seen out there in regards to Fedosia agrestis is to like, because it's such an unproven supplement with little research on it, because of the concerns with the toxicity, the testicular toxicity and the kidney issues in the rats there, they recommend like take it for a month and cycle off. I've seen some people recommend do 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So with a lot of these supplements, it's probably a good idea to cycle off. I think Derek from More Plates, More Dates, he's got a supplement, Sigma, I believe it is. It's a combination of these two plus some other supplements combined in here. And I think he recommends taking it for a month and then a week off, or a month on and a month off. I forget exactly what it is, but definitely looking at cycling it to make sure that you are minimizing the risks. And what they showed in that testicular toxicity with that rat study is that once they stopped taking Fedosia agrestis, the toxicity levels went away. So it's something that it's not like a permanent damage thing that you're doing to your testicles there. Another thing is like a side effect that I didn't experience myself. I've heard some people say that their balls got bigger while taking Fedosia agrestis. I can't say that I've noticed that myself. One thing I do want to mention, some people say that the powder format is best to use. It's better absorbable. I do want to say, if you do go with the powder format, be aware that it freaking tastes awful. It's such the tiniest little scoop, and I add that to one of my big freaking shakes, and I can definitely tell when it's in there. It does not taste the greatest, even when I have some protein powder in there that's kind of masking the flavor, and there's just something to be aware of. And now for the results. Libido, no freaking doubt about it. It is through the roof. Pitching tents throughout the middle of the night, morning wood every freaking day, and just on my mind, sex on my mind a little more often than it was in the past, and getting a little more aroused and excited throughout the day when I see attractive women around. So libido, definitely, these are two powerful aphrodisiacs, no doubt about it. The big benefit, I mean, in the gym, which is a big reason why a lot of others are taking it, my workouts, my performance in the gym, it's a new freaking level. I've been sharing that during the past 2 months in the Jacked at the 40 Club. Like, I cannot believe how much better my workouts are. I think mental focus, clarity. That's the other thing I think with Tomcat Alley. It's been shown, like a lot of people use it as a nootropic to improve their focus, their mental clarity, their mental performance there. So I find I am more focused during my workouts, but I feel stronger. I feel my endurance is better. I'm cranking out more reps. I just am able to dig deeper. And I want to dig deeper. I want to give even more effort in the workout. So my workouts, there's no doubt about it, have been taken to a whole new level. Now, during the past 2 months, I have gained 2 pounds. That was, to me personally, to be expected. I am in a gentle calorie surplus that, with the goal of gaining 1 pound per month. That's what I've been rolling with back and forth for the past 5 years, doing slow and steady muscle building phases and then mini cuts throughout there. So my goal has always been like 1 pound per month and then do a little mini cut to shed any of the little excess fat that I gained throughout the process. So I gained the same amount of weight that I was expecting to gain, but I feel like I'm actually leaner. Like I feel like I haven't not only not gained any fat during this past 2 months, even though I'm in a gentle calorie surplus, I feel like I've lost a bit of fat, even though my weight is up. So I think there could be something to this. I think 2 months is not really enough time to really tell. I do want to take a break from it right now. As we mentioned, with the concerns and the risks, I'm going to cycle off. I might try something different for a couple months and then come back to this, see how my body responds again. But I definitely think there is something to this in regards to muscle building. I didn't do any kind of like DEXA scans or anything like that. I just, based on my scale weight and based on my visual appearance there, I've gained 2 pounds. I look a little leaner, but more important, libido through the roof, my energy, my focus, my performance through the roof. So I'm experiencing some very positive benefits from this without any kind of negative side effects, at least none that I'm aware of. Haven't gotten any blood work done personally. That's the other thing. So results wise in regards to increasing testosterone, I'm getting blood done. Now that I have just finished this 2 months, I'm getting blood work done. So I will report back to you if there's been any increase in my testosterone levels. I'm excited to hear about that, especially my free testosterone. That has always been borderline low for me, so I will be interested to see if this increased my free testosterone. My total testosterone is in the mid-range, like just lower than the exact middle, but in the mid-range, so it's been healthy, but free testosterone has always been lower, so I'm really anxious to see if there is an increase in that. So I will be getting blood work done, and I do look forward to reporting back to you guys in that regard. So be sure to hit me up and keep an eye out for it, especially I'll probably do it in a YouTube short 1 minute recap of my blood work after 2 months of taking these 2 supplements combined. So that's been my 2-month experiment with Tomcat Alley and Fadosia agrestis. I am not affiliated with any company. I did use a Solaray for the Tomcat Alley, which I think is about 13 or 14 bucks Canadian for a 2-month supply. The Barlow's Herbal Elixir for the Fadosia agrestis, which I think was $20 Canadian for a 2-month supply. The powder format that I used last year, Herbal Island, was 35 bucks for a 4-month supply. So it's an experiment that isn't gonna break the bank. Again, just be aware that these are unproven supplements, not a lot of research to back it up. There are some risks involved there. Do consult with your physician, especially if you are taking any medication, but overall, that's been my personal experience, my personal review. I would love to hear from you. If you have used either of these separately or together, please drop a comment down below to share your experience with us. And if you decide to experiment, do a personal experiment yourself starting now, be sure to report back what your experience has been like by dropping a comment down below here as well. I hope you enjoyed this kind of review and shared experience here. If you did, please do me a favor and smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, please do him a favor and share it with them. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Lose Fat, Get Jacked. Have yourself an amazing day. Catch you in the next video.